So the lecture 8 is about competition, part 2 of competition. Let's begin. Last time we talked about short time competition. We have two very important concepts. First is in perfectly competition markets, your price should equals to your marginal cost. It's number one. And the second is that in the short run supply curve, your it's in the short run, your supply curve is actually is your marginal cost curve. Okay, so that's a very important conclusion. Oh, the supply curve. Sorry for that. In the short run, your supply curve equals to your marginal cost above your shutdown point. And the shutdown point is what is that if your price is smaller, then it's less than your average variable cost, then you shut down. So that point is called shutdown point. So it's all about short supply. We talk about that. Okay, so today is long run competition. Okay, so we produce if the price is equals to average cost. It's our market we do that because we have profits. So in the long run competition markets, often profit equal to zero. It's a very important conclusion. Soon countless entry and exits. That means all firms can free entry and free exits. So let's take a look about the graph. It's marginal cost. If you put more labor, your marginal cost get higher, and it's average total cost. In the loss in this intersect is where your marginal cost is a lowest point, and um, and once you put more labor in your production system, your average total cost will get higher because it's your marginal cost will be higher. So that's a graph. Okay, let's have a curve shape. Curve shape. What is entry and exit? Entry is if firms make profits, the new firms enter because they want to make profits too. So drives profits towards zero. That means more firm comes in and you become more competition. Eventually, your price equals to your marginal cost, and your long run competition, your profit is zero. And free exit. That is if funds loses money, then funds leaves markets and drive profits up because fewer funds in the market. So the long run market supply is constant. Funds firms funds produce at marginal cost where marginal cost equals to average cost, which is this intersection we talked about before. Okay, this produce at least a month. Let's see, Q2. It's your marginal cost equals to your average total cost. It's at efficiency. Reasons for increasing long run supply curve. That means even if our conclusion is that in long run supply curve, our profit equals to zero, but in reality, we don't see like that. So it's the following is some reasons. First, all in reality, like all works of life or something, needs not exactly free entry, cost something to entry. So we have barriers to entry. So the profit can't go to zero because it's not free entry. In our model, it is. Number two is firm heterogeneity. That is, firms have different production functions, even if they are produced such as rice or shampoo, different types of shampoo you can choose, so they are not exactly identical for all firms. The third is inputs prices may rise with outputs. Okay, so that's three. So let's three parts, three reasons explained that in reality we rarely see that long run supply profit equals to zero. Here is why. Okay, so the next lecture we're going to combine what we have learned. We have learned supply, we have learned demand, and perfectly competition, how it works. So now we're falling into the equilibrium calculation. Demand increases. So at old price, consumers want more. So therefore, consumers are willing to pay more. Therefore, firms makes more. So yeah, that is the supply increase if the price goes up and the quantity goes down. So let me explain this chart. So how does it we have D1 and D2? What reason or what some factors can drive D1 to D2 or D2 to D1? Here is five category may cause this phenomenon. It's income changes, or the people's preferences changes, or the price of compliance, complements, or substitution goods is changes, or the market size changes, expectation changes. That's all the factors that cost that drive the demand curve move parallel. How about supply shift? That is input cost. Uh your your all cost is lower, then you supply more or something. Your production function. How do you optimize? How do you set a bundle, set a wage and rent ratio? And final is in expectations. Yeah, expectations matters. So here is warfare economics. This part lecture 9. Actually, we just need to know what the cost of these shifts and the warfare economics compensating compensating variation. It's how much would you pay to halt to not have that happen. So it's all about revealed preferences. Consumer surplus is the benefit that consumers get for consuming above what you get. It's an area below demand curve and above price line. Actually, the consumer surplus is at this point, this person's willingness to pay is very high, but in market, the equilibrium price is very low. So imagine if you're willing to pay the basketball like $5, but actually it costs $1. So you are happy to buy it, you buy it because you think you got the basketball in a in a cheaper way. So that kind of happiness is called consumer surplus. So by this definition, we can see that area below the demand curve and above the price line is all all about markets, consumer surplus. How about producer surplus? That is your cost is very low, maybe $10 to $10, $10, $10 to produce a basketball, but the market equilibrium price is you can sell that basketball in $50. So if you are a producer, you are very happy because you're like $50 minus $10 equals to $40, and that's your profit. Um, Compared to consumer surplus, the producer surplus is more intuitive because it's actually the profits you earn. Okay, so the total social welfare is the consumer surplus plus the producer surplus is total social welfare. That's how the welfare economics goes. And yeah, so how does the welfare economics goes under the perfectly competition markets? The competition maximizes welfare. The social welfare is measure of how well of the society is. Just I have mentioned, it's consumer surplus plus producer surplus, and we want to maximize it because we want the social welfare more is better. Okay, so the things may not go as we think, as we thought. Sometimes um have negative parts is deadwood loss. The deadwood loss reduce reduction in efficiency from trades trades that don't got more. That means loss in social welfare. So it derives the first fundamental theorem in social welfare. That is, market knows best. In a classical or in a classical of economics, like Adam Smith, I think that market knows all. Market knows what is best. So any any sorts of intervention from governments will cause the deadweight loss. Let me check um let me check this chart before. So the first we have the marginal cost equals to price. It's this line, and we can know consumer surplus is plus V, and the pro pro producer surplus is S plus T plus U. So the total social welfare is this area. But if today the government set the price ceiling, that means all the firms can only sell the products in P2. It's ceiling. You can't sell the items price more than that price. Okay? So from the consumer's side, it's very intuitive because we can now buy the things in a more more cheaper way, in a cheaper way. Okay, so actually the consumer supplies increases better off. Its area R plus S, and the area S obviously is bigger than area B. But from the producer side, they aren't very happy because the producer surplus now remains T, so it's worse off. The total social welfare is R plus S plus T, and and by this we can see that V plus U is deadweight lost. It's gone. So once the government puts on intervention, they have to sacrifice something. Okay? Uh, Government interventions. Yeah, it's just what we taught. Put a price ceiling, and will be excess demand because because if the price is too low, the producer do not want to sell too much. So made things worse by violating first theorem. That means we cause some deadweight loss. The market knows best, but once the government puts on interventions, the market's efficiency decreased, and its allocation inefficiency and the cost total social welfare decreased. Let's have some example. The first is ticket scalping. Mm, Low prices tickets went to people with fast Wi-Fi and not people who willing to pay the most. So people resell at a higher price and got all the surplus, not the funds. And the taxi cab medallion. City regulated taxi cabs, and it's a kind of sort of the government intervention way. So the way that government can put some interventions to our market. The positive impact is cab driver makes profit, but social welfare decreases. Permits cost, the profit drivers made some money went to random permit holders. Okay, so that's a brief introduction. We finished how the long run competition works, its profit equals to zero, and how to set a price, how how to choose a price, how to choose the quantity we produce, and which cause that different in reality from model to theory to from model to reality. And we talk about how the factors to impact on demand and supply curve shifting and welfare economics. The first fundamental theory is market knows best, and some way that government can put some interventions. So it's a key takeaway of here. Thank you for listening.